The beginning of this video was requested by a viewer and a friend. She asked to see my color boxes on the shelf, and I figured a whole mini studio tour, or a tour of my mini studio, whichever you want, would be fine. That's my desk. There's the thing that holds my iPhone 6 that my friend gave me when she upgraded to make these videos, and that's all my papers, and it's kind of changed into art supply storage. Just, lots of stuff. This ceiling slants down, and I have to get on my knees over here. Here's the boxes of the color scraps that she requested. I have them all sorted by color and on the shelf in mini cinnamon roll plastic containers is what those are. More stuff. There's my cutter. There's my stencils. And then back around again, my paints are there in that cart. And this is some of my containers of color scraps right before I started this project. So here's the project, and it is the last NaNoJouMo page I will be doing this year because today is the last day of the month. I made 20 videos in 21 days for this, and I'm going to take it a little bit slower. I won't be stopping, but I'll take it a little bit slower for the month of December, maybe a couple videos a week. I need to concentrate on making Christmas gifts and Christmas cards and all that type of stuff. So what I'm doing here is I am knocking back the background on this page. This is a jelly printed in my jelly printed journal, like every other video. But it was too busy, and I just wanted to I didn't want to lose the pattern, but I wanted to reduce it so that I could make a scene over the top of it. So I'm using my 2-inch Speedball soft rubber brayer to just put some different colors, a light and then a medium and then a teal at the bottom of the blues. Now I have a stamp. It's a raindrop or a teardrop, I'm not sure. It's from a Stampin' Up set that has a lot of different shapes in it. I don't know if that's still available or not. And I started out with the darkest blue going over the lightest blue, and then I will move to the light blue on the dark blue and teal, and then I'll add white. So I'm just putting in a lot of rain here, lots of raindrops. So that's the light blue on the darker blue and teal. And then I get out some white. Way too much came out. And I'm going in with the white raindrops just to give an idea that it's raining. Seems pretty simple. Be sure to clean those stamps when you use the latex paint on them. Acrylic paint on them. I think it has latex in it, that's why I say that, because it seems kind of rubbery or plasticky. So now I'm making my main image for the page. You can probably tell it's a snail. A little cute, whimsical type of a drawing. Nothing realistic at all. Just complete whimsy of a little snail guy that's going to be there. And I'm cutting it out. This is actually just a pattern so that I'm going to do paper piecing with jelly prints and things. And so this is my pattern of pieces that I'm going to make. This is the easiest way I've found to paper piece from your own drawing, is to just cut it apart and then use those as pattern pieces. Now this is a technique that I like to use a lot when I'm doing what I call paper paintings, which is basically little pieces of paper that create a scene or an image and background on a canvas. And if I want to make something with a lot of different little pieces, but I want it to be a shape, this is the method that I use. This is deli paper. It's very lightweight, and so it doesn't add much bulk. And what I do is I tear up all my little pieces and I put them on there with gel. That's a matte gel medium from Golden. And today I'm using my little palette knife it's an easy way to do it. Sometimes I use a brush, doesn't matter, but I'll put all those little pieces on to make something that's somewhat solid but has a lot of variation in pattern. I wanted this to be orangey yellowy colors because orange is a complementary color to blue, and I knew it would stand out on the page. And so I'm just gluing a lot of different little pieces from my yellow bucket and my orange bucket and filling up this enough space to make the shell, which I'm going to cut out once it's dry. It takes it a while to dry. I probably could have used a liquid nut medium instead and it would have dried quicker, but I wanted everything real stuck down. So that's something I like to do a lot. Some of you have seen some of those big canvases that I do on my blog or different places like that, and you'll know what I'm talking about. The rest of you are like, what are you talking about? Okay, now I found a piece of kind of brownish rusty colors that's from a jelly print, and I'm just temporarily attaching the snail's little body to the back of it upside down so that I can just cut around it. And that's my piece for his body. There's his body. Slug body. If you didn't put the shell on, he would be a slug. Not dry. Put it aside. Put the buckets away. Okay, now I'm going to make my element for the other side. So I'm looking for different pieces of brown or black. I wasn't sure. And I found this one that somebody sent me. I think it might be one of those where you take the magazine page and you put that degreaser, orange degreaser stuff on there and like smear the ink around. I think that's what it is. I haven't actually done that myself. I want to try it. Probably will try it. But I'm pretty sure that's what this piece of paper was, and then somebody just cut it up and sent it to me in a package of Happy Mail type stuff with a swap. So I cut a strip out of it, and I used my trimmer to do that. And then now I'm taking another jelly print. Sorry, my voice. And I'm making the top part. It's a mailbox. You guys are probably trying to now figure out what's going on this page. I don't remember if I told you the prompt or not. The prompt is mail, in case I didn't remember to tell you. And it's not the mail kind of boy. It is mail as in stuff that you get from the post service. So that's my little mailbox. I'm going to drive you guys crazy with my throat. I don't mean to do that. I'm sorry. So we'll stick those down and start building my scene. Now that I look at it in the finished project, I probably could have knocked that background another layer back by putting some white gesso over it because it's still a little bit too intense. But I didn't want to completely lose my print because it's a really cute print. So that's why it is the way it is. It's strange, you know, trying to figure out what to do over jelly prints, but this has been so fun. I've completely enjoyed myself. Thanks, Don Skokel, for challenging everybody in the universe to do art journaling every day, and thanks to my friends, Peg Robinson, Sherry Whitfield, and Lizzie Beth, for doing this with me. I hope you guys are going to check out their videos like I've been saying every video. The link is in the info box and also down below for any videos that they made in the same prompt. Or you can just check out our playlist as well, which is also in the info card. We just made a playlist of all of them, and you could just go through and look at all of them at once that way. Okay, so there's the very colorful snail shell. And it turned out more yellow than orange. It probably should have been a little bit orangey, but I like it. I think it looks cool. And now I'm going to make some grass because I don't think that the snail would want to be crawling on a teal ground, whatever it is. I'm not sure. What kind of ground is teal? I don't really know. So these are just scraps of deli paper that have different types of green paints on them. I don't think they're printed. I think they just have paint scraped onto them from when I had way too much paint on my palette, and I use it up by scraping it onto papers and making painted papers. They do the trick. Making a very grassy ground for him to crawl in. This page took an hour and 35 minutes. Well, that includes the studio tour too. So somewhere past an hour to make, and it's sped up to 4 times. So that's why my hands are moving so quickly. Now I'm cutting out little tiny leaves out of these green scraps because I'm going to make a climbing vine that's climbing up the post of my mailbox. When I lived in Kansas, the lady across the street planted this purple flower, this purple climbing flower. It was so beautiful, and she planted it at the base of her mailbox, and it climbed up, and it was just, I just loved it. I just loved it. So that's what I was thinking of when I did this design element, was that mailbox. The mailbox I have here is a communal mailbox. Everybody's mail is all in one place, so I can't plant flowers around it, and I can't paint it or anything. So I just have to go get my mail there. Not nearly as interesting as the one that we had in front of our house in Kansas. Now I'm looking for pieces of white, gray, and then I'm going to get out my box of pink and look for some light pinks to make mail, little rectangles, and I'm going to cut them out. Just, I'm not being fancy, I'm just cutting out rectangles, not measuring, I'm not using my trimming tool or anything. They're very random. Just out of different scraps. These are the types of scraps that live in my color boxes for collage and paper piecing and whatever else I want to do. Some of them do seem kind of thin, so I might have to do a Gelli printing session or something soon. Actually, one of my viewers had requested that too. Now I'm just using my Neocolor 2 to make the spiral in the snail's shell. You know how they have that kind of a spiral shape. It's not solid, so I just wanted to indicate that without being too fancy. So a couple different Neocolor colors, and then my water barrel brush, say that 3 times fast, to blend it. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of that white acrylic paint that I had over squeezed and just adding some highlights, trying to give that shape some dimension without being too fussy. And then I think to myself, this snail is delivering mail and picking up mail, so he needs some way to carry it. He's not going to be like putting it inside a shell or something or whatever. So I decided to make him a box to sit on top of him so that he can carry the mail, because it's snail mail. Haha, get it? This page is about mail, but it's also kind of sarcastic, and you will see my my words at the end about not being able to stop the mail, you know, that whole little quote. And I will tell you, oh, by the way, that's grosgrain ribbon, in case you were wondering. And then there's the little piece that I cut out of a piece of wooden patterned scrapbooking paper. But anyway, in the last month, our mail has been misdirected 3 different times in 1 month. And one of the mail that got misdirected and came back to us 2 weeks later was the car insurance payment. And we lost our car insurance and we're driving around without car insurance because the mail got misdirected. And I can't even believe that, because that envelope, there's no possible way that it could have had the wrong address, because it was the address that comes with the bill. So I don't even know. And that has happened 3 different times in the last month. So my page is somewhat sarcastic in that, yes, you really can stop the mail. The mail can get messed up and they're not as infallible as they think they are. I don't know if it's our post office or what, but it's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. So now I'm, of course, gluing on all my little pieces of mail. And a couple of them fell out of the mailbox because it's full. So they're on the ground. It takes a long time for that snail to get there. Because he's a snail. And that's my little red flag showing that there's mail in the box. You know, you flip up the flag when the mail's in the box, put it down when it's empty. Okay, so we're about to come up on some stamping. Yes, I wanted to put some flowers on my vine, and I wanted something bright, so I picked a bright pink acrylic paint from Liquitex, and I'm just using my sponge brush to apply that to a little flower stamp from the same set as the raindrops was. Little solid stamps, tiny ones. There's also a little rectangle, but it was too small to make mail with it once I got my design done. Okay, now I'm going to put my shadows in. I've got my black Stabilo ALL pencil, which is a water-soluble pencil, and I'm going around everything, and then I'm going to blend it with my water barrel brush. This brings the images to the forefront, but it also helps them look as if they're blended into the design of the page and not just a piece of paper stuck on top. It makes a huge difference in my opinion. So I always do this. You can do it with a watercolor pencil that's not a Stabilo, or you can use brush tip markers. I sometimes use the Pitt Indie ink ones, but you could also use the water soluble ones. Just make sure that you seal your page. Whatever you got, you should use it. Don't go running out and buying new stuff just because you see somebody on YouTube doing it with that, because you might have exactly what you need. There are a few products that I would say go get, but not very many. Pretty much everything can be done with something that you already have or something that's very inexpensive. So just going around everything with my Stabilo. The nice thing about the Stabilo is that it's extremely water reactive, so it's very easy to do this. But that can also be a not nice thing if you don't want it to move. Then this, of course, is my fine point white Posca pen made by Uni. Love these Posca pens. Use them on pretty much every project I do. The black and the white anyway. And I'm just adding a highlight, going around, and it's very sketchy. I like the look of sketchy. I don't want everything to be perfect and lined up, and if I try to do something like that, I just get too fussy. I will just spend hours and hours and hours on something trying to make it exactly perfect. So I like the look of a quick sketchy look on my projects. It kind of really, I think I might be developing a style, maybe. I'm not sure. But that's what I like. So that's the way I do it. And then, of course, you can't have a page without splatters. So I've got my fan brush and that extra white acrylic that I squirted out. And then I'm blotting it off on my main images. Just wanted it in the background. And there's my black fine tip Posca. I don't use very much of the black, just a few little details. I am going to use it to draw in some little stamps and addresses on my little letters in a second. I'm just taking my protector paper out and trimming that bottom. It was pretty stuck on the one side. I had to tear it. So I'm just making little scribbly lines for addresses and little teeny tiny squares for where stamps might be, just to give the letters a little bit more detail. Come rain, nor shine, nor sleet, nor hail, you can't stop the U.S. snail. See? Sarcastic. I'm a very sarcastic person. So that was done with my black Posca pen. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do all the things to show that you liked it. And thanks for watching me on this challenge. Don't worry, I'm not going to stop making videos. I'll still be making something, and I'll see you then. Here's the close-ups. And I think that's about it. Bye-bye.